Right. So we've got a tiny bit of data here. First name, Bruce, surname, Kent. Now, we're going to ask the question, how can we combine these two separate items, in other words, the first name and surname, together into one? Often, a popular type of problem you get in Excel is where you have extracted, say, data from a database which contains, say, customer details. Now, the nature of a database is that it breaks down data as much as it can into separate columns. Now, that's great because what happens is when you get your data, you load it in Excel, everything is there but in separate columns. And a common item that is separated out is first name and surname. However, there might be instances where you need to combine these two. So how can we do that? Well, the solution is to use the concatenate function in Microsoft Excel. Now this basically joins different cells which contain text, and numbers for that matter, together. In this instance, we're only focusing on the text bit though. Now this is used typically to clean up data in conjunction with other Excel text functions. However, on its own, it's still quite handy as well. Now there is another way also to join the text, and that is using this symbol here, which is called the ampersand symbol. But we're just going to call it, for the purposes of this lecture, the AND symbol. Now, one more thing, folks. There is actually an upgraded version of the concatenate function for those of you who are using Excel 2016 for the PC. Now, we're not going to use that one just because only those users who have Excel 2016 can actually access it. So just for backwards compatibility sake, we're going to stick with this concatenate function, which has been present in early versions of Excel going back at least as far as 2002. Okay, so let's get started on building our formula. Right, so if I press equals and then type concatenate, you can see we get our familiar drop down. Now this concat function is basically the one which I just mentioned that is present in Excel 2016. We're not going to use that one. We're going to go for this, concatenate. Right. Now, concatenate basically takes at least one parameter, which is your initial bit of text, and then after that, you can add as many different parameters, which would be text or numbers, for example, up to 255 items. So most people probably wouldn't go more than 10, but it's there if you want it. Right, so let's do it. Now, the simplest way is just to click on your items that you want included. So we want this because we want to start off with Bruce. We press comma to get to the second parameter. And as you can see, that's been bolded. And we click on Kent. Now, the previous examples we've done, we've only used really just one parameter for the functions. So for upper, for lower, we use one parameter, and for the mass functions, we used one parameter as well. Now, earlier on, we covered the fact that when you enter your parameters, they're color-coded to what you're selecting. So we've had blue here, which is blue here. Now the second parameter, because when using that, we've got a red color. And as you can see, if you just look closely past these little train tracks, you can see that this has gone red as well, because that is indicating to us that we've selected our second parameter here. So that's it. We don't want any other things joined. So we close the bracket. We press enter. There we go. So this Excel function has basically joined these two items together, and we get Bruce Kent. So that looks fine, right? I mean, we could use that. But what's wrong? Well, there's no space. So it actually reads wrong, technically, because you've just got one word that says Bruce Kent. So you need to put a space in. Now, how can we do that? We can't, for example, double click in here, because it just bring up the formula. We could go back to the data here, and after Bruce, insert a space. But that would be quite tedious because we'd have to go through every other entry. Let's just say we had hundreds of first names and surnames, and you wanted to put a space. You're not really going to go through every cell and put a space in. So you wouldn't do this, for example. We got Bruce, add a space, press enter. So you can see now our concatenate function has basically put the space in because after here, the E, we added a space. So if you had hundreds and thousands of first names, you wouldn't want to do that, because the whole point of using Excel functions is to make your life more productive, save you time, not make you work extra time. So let's get rid of that space there, and let's go back to our original inception here, Bruce Kent. How could we improve upon this? Well, we've covered it subtly. As you can see here, when I put that space in, it got included in the concatenate function. So that leads us to another point. The concatenate function can include spaces as part of its joining. So you would build this into the formula. How would you do that? Well, go back, double click, right. So we've got C12 here and D12 there, and we want our space to go in the middle. So how do we do that? Well, we basically put our space between these two, text 1 and text 2. Now, when we put our space, we basically shift D12 to text 3 and make our space text 2. In other words, our second parameter. Now, to do spaces in the concatenate function, you use double quotes. So you put a double quote and then a space and then a double quote again. So double quote, space, double quote, then you press comma, because right now if you don't press comma, you'll get an error because Excel will treat this all as one and it won't recognize it properly. So you put a space, and as you can see, text 3 is bolded and D12, which is here, has gone to the third parameter, as evidenced by the bolding here. So now if I press enter, you can see that our space has been included in there. So the concatenate function is really handy for joining bits of data together. Now, I'm going to show you the other way to actually join data together, and that's using the AND symbol. Okay, so press equals, select your first cell. Now, the key thing here is to use your keyboard and add the symbol in. So on most types of keyboards, this is normally above the number 7, although just check your keyboard to make sure you're pressing the right key there. Now we want to add a space. So again, double quotes, space, double quotes, and then we put an other AND symbol. So basically the AND symbol is just saying join. Join this with that. Right, and then we just click here to get our D12 included. In other words, this Kent word here. Then you press enter. There. You see that? You've got exactly the same result. So, which way is actually better, or what are the differences between these two? Well, between concatenate and using the AND symbol, there isn't actually any difference. You can use both of them. The only restriction is, with the concatenate function, you've got a limit of 255 entries that you could join together. But realistically, most people would never go that high. So it all comes down to which one you feel more comfortable with. You've either got this method or this method. As a beginner, I personally would recommend sticking with the concatenate function. The reason being is because it might take slightly longer to type out, but it's actually a tiny bit more clearer. Okay, so that concludes this worked example. We have seen how we can use the concatenate function to join two bits of text together. We've also seen the initial limitation of the fact that there's no space when you actually join text and you actually have to add that in. We have covered using the AND symbol as an alternative to the concatenate function. And we've also just discussed the difference between those two, and that it's down to user preference which one they would use.